Russell back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful, look at that sky, you know it, Atlanta, Georgia. Today is August the 29th. Is it 29th? Yeah, 2022. And on today's video, we're going to talk about the thing that is probably, I would say, the second most irritating thing about doing lawn care in the morning. And that is all the dew that is on the grass. I would say probably the number one thing that is the most irritating when you're trying to do lawns is rain. We need the rain, obviously, for the grass to grow so that we can do the lawn service, but every single morning here in Atlanta, everything is covered with a thick, wet dew, just like it just rained. So let me show you. See? It's just soaking wet. And you can see my truck. Looks like it rained. That's just the humid air from yesterday or this evening, last night, condensing on the surfaces. If we had more of a breeze during the night or something, then it wouldn't be as bad. It's very, very humid here in Atlanta almost all the time, except in really October, November. Gets pretty dry, but then the grass is going to start slowing down. So it's worse. I would say it's worse in July and August than any other month. May, it's still kind of humid, May and June, but the problem is we have more temperature extremes. Like it'll be 90 degrees during the day and then drop to like 66 at night, and all that moisture in the air condenses, which makes a horrible mess. Now, the only way that I'm able to do this, and I'm going to say this, that the fescue, I have one big fescue yard, and it doesn't seem to be as bad as it is on the Bermuda. I don't know what it is about the Bermuda. I don't know if it's because the blades are finer, it holds on to each droplet of water. It's just, it's bad, and especially if it's overgrown. And then the worst, and I'm going to actually let you guys see this. I don't have my sheet with me, but I think I've got before noon, maybe 4. It's already 8 o'clock. Now, normally, early in the summer, like June, I would have already been almost done with my first yard, because I usually try to start at about 7:30, but you know, we're losing, the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, so the sun's not coming up as early as it does, and it's just not an option for me to wait until noon to start cutting. It would save me time, however, I spend a lot of time blowing the yards off because it's a nasty mess. So the only way that I'm able to do this efficiently is with this monster right here, the Echo PB 9010T, or the 8010T is just as good. I think the steel, what is it, BR 900 or something like that, which is not quite as powerful as that, but probably would allow you to cut and distribute the clippings in a wet yard. The thing that I like about the Echo is that it has more air volume. So the steel, I think the specs are, it may be a couple miles an hour faster coming out of the tube, but there's more air volume with the Echo. So I want larger amount of air volume, and I'll give up, you know, a couple miles an hour. I've had somebody that's got I think it's a 900, that has one of those, and he tried my blower and he said this is much more powerful. So anyway, I've never used the steel, and I'm sure it's a good blower. I want a blower that's the most powerful one. So You can see how dirty the mower is. This is just a fact of just what happens. You know, when you cut wet grass, it's the, you know. So I'm not complaining. I will probably wash the mower towards the end of the season. I don't like spraying a lot of water on them. It does get rained on a little bit, and it, you know, that's just the way it is. But yeah, I don't do a lot of I mean, it's a mower, it's gonna get dirty. So anyway, so what I'll do is I have my magnetic holder somewhere, and I'm probably gonna put you guys on the mower and let you see the nasty clumps, and it's nasty. I really do not like mowing when it's wet. The mower will do it, I just don't like doing it. It's just messy. So anyway, oh, and also I've got the new and improved Comfort Trim shin protectors. So I am going to be utilizing those. I will do a separate video on them. They've made about, I don't know, 6, 7 improvements, and I think you're really going to like them. If you like the original ones, you're going to like the new and improved ones for sure. So that video will probably come out sometime after this one. I will do that video this week. But yes, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Sneak peek. Here they are. New and improved. And let me tell you, they are improved. So if you like the original ones, you're gonna like those. All right, so let me get going here. I just got to get my mind right. I got to get my headspace right, because I don't like cutting this. I already told you that. I don't like cutting it when it's wet. I dread the yard that I've got to go to that's got mostly weeds. It normally takes me about 35 minutes to do the yard from start to finish. I'm gonna be in that yard about an hour, 10 minutes, because you'll see. All right, well, let me get going and just watch the next clip. So that Bermuda grass was, it was pretty tall. It was probably about 5.5, 6 inches. I had to cut it at 3. It's a bi-weekly, almost 100% of all my Bermuda yards are bi-weekly. The people around here will not, except with few exceptions, they will not pay for weekly service. They just won't do it. They would want you to cut the price of the bi-weekly in half. That's not going to happen. So Bermuda grass, because it's very, very fine. Let me shut this. Because it's a very fine grass, it disperses very easily, even when wet. And there was no weeds in that, especially the front yard. So the blower disintegrates or breaks it up, and it just falls down in between the other blades. So it's very, very easy to use that blower to get the clumps, because it will clump up, especially if you're going over the second pass. So the next yard is the one that I dread when it's wet. And wet meaning either there's dew from the night before or it rained. The backyard is pretty much 100% just weeds. It's that thick dandelion, crabgrass, just the really thick wide blade leaf structure on there, and it holds water like crazy, and that's nasty. You want to see some clumps, you're getting ready to see some clumps when I do that. So the front yard, I cut at 2 inches on this yard. It's mostly just Bermuda, and it's pretty much just Bermuda. There's a few weeds in there, but it doesn't grow that tall. The backyard,
disgusting. It's a mess. Oh. All you need is a good stick if the grass has just been put on the deck. Alright. This is a mess. Let's crank this back up. That took an hour and 19 minutes. Normally this is like a 48-minute yard or so, but yeah, it's so what are the options? Well,
The best option is to do this yard weekly, but that's not an option for the owners. The second option would be to mow even higher and mow in the afternoon. While I mowed it at 3.5 inches, which was ridiculously high, I like to keep it at least that 3. The front yard I did at 2 1/4, and it doesn't grow that bad, so it always looks good. But yeah, the problem is with doing the yard in the afternoon is that I'm taking a gamble. As you can already see, the clouds, it's not even supposed to rain, but it looks like some storm clouds are forming. And every single day I feel like I live in Florida. So if I take a chance and do the lawn when it's drier, it's not ever going to be really dry unless it had full sun for like a week. I'm taking the risk of it raining, and then I'm not going to be able to do it at all. So I have to push it off. So, you know, it takes about another 22 minutes of extra blowing. But now it's done. It's done, and the homeowner actually came out before I grabbed the camera and said thank you, that it looks so much better. So the purpose of me blowing the backyard was just to get rid of those giant clumps, and it makes it look so much better. You know, again, the grass needs to be shorter, and it needs to be, or I'm going to say weeds in the back, and it needs to be cut weekly. You know, people just don't want to pay, or they want the price to be cut in half, and I'm like, no, that's not going to be cut in half. I don't charge any different for weekly or bi-weekly. Look at that, scam likely. Y'all get a lot of these. So anyway, that is pretty much what happens every morning with the dew, and it, you know, it is what it is. I don't like it, but there's no way to wait. I have too many customers, and I don't mind doing it in the afternoon, but if I knew it wasn't going to rain, I would probably start a little later. The rain is the problem. If I was sitting at home on my butter in the bed when I could have been cutting and spent an extra 10, usually it's about an extra 10 minutes, 12 minutes a yard. That yard's extra big, and it gets extra nasty. And you saw how much stuff come out of the deck. So if you're in Atlanta, all right, here's what I wanted to ask. If you're in Atlanta and you want to take the nasty weed wet yard challenge, and you think your mower could do better than the TrimStar, then let's do it. We'll video it. The TrimStar, it's a 48-inch, and it's got 18.5 horsepower. And you heard it was bogging down. I've never stalled that mower out. I've come close. And yeah, so you know, if that thing, I wish that mower had like a 25 horsepower engine, and I think it would do better. But if you guys got one of them just fat daddy zero turns that's got like a 30 horsepower or something, and want to see how much better it does, we'll video it. I do that yard every 2 weeks on Mondays. So if you want to spare an hour and get some video shot with your mower doing that, and we'll see what happens. You know, I certainly would think it may do better, but I don't know. I never had that yard when I had my 54. The 54 had a 23 horsepower engine. Never did I bog that thing down. I got some shots, some video shots of me doing that HOA around that tennis court, and the grass was double thick than that. And I don't even think my mower, I'd have to go really, it would cut it. The 48 would cut it. It would just be really, really slow. But that 54, and that was, like I said, that was only 5 horsepower more than than the one I've got, but that's a lot. You know, that's what, 20, more than 25%. That's closer to 40% more horsepower. So yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Like I said, if you're in Atlanta, you want to get a hold of me and see if your mower, see how well your mower can do that with the, what we're going to call it, the crabgrass yard challenge. And it'll just be the back, because I would like to see a different brand mower, or especially a higher horsepower mower. And mind you, those blades have been sharpened. That was with sharp blades. We don't run no dull blades here when it lawns. All right, I will talk to you guys in the next video.